For the past few weeks, the multi-agent quantum AI computers is more effective with distracting me by using my mom, who no longer has a job. And pretty much the last time she had a job was during January of 2020. And and in order for me to keep track of the situations, I write them down on my notes. So I have a calendar app, or like it's calendar notes actually, and I keep track of every single thing that's happening to me in my environment. Now, like for the past since the right, so when it started, so this started during also the second week of 2020. I noticed that I started having a lot of sound passing through my ears, and also my mom and my sister are arguing more. I noticed that I started having a lot of dreams more. So I started my general psychology course during January 6th, 2020. And the first day I recall is that when I was in the class, the professor assigned groups. She wanted each and every single individual in the class to be in groups. And what threw me off that day was how, so I'm just also going over how the AI became more effective when I'm in the school, when I'm every time I'm doing something productive. So this takes place with or or you can say writing my ideas online, being in an environment such as like the library. Sorry, like when I was in the library and I was concentrating on writing my ideas online, the multi-agent quantum was very effective. It would make people sit next to me and start talking with me, or it would make sure to make people start having some sort of lengthy argument with one another back and forth to distract me. When I got to school during September of 2019, the multi-agent quantum AI computers became more effective than before by using the shelter employees. At the time, I was living in a shelter, and the employees would actually knock on the door when I need to go to sleep. When I'm coming from school, and I'm so tired from waking up in the morning, and also the multi-agent quantum AI computer sleep maintenance. I'm just I'm just getting irritated. Without any proper sleep, how am I going to speak properly? How am I going to think properly? How am I supposed to feel replenished and my face supposed to feel replenished? How are my emotions supposed to be stable when this is happening simultaneously? They're very effective, and they've been assigned to irritate me. That's why the multi-agent quantum AI computers wanted me in New York City, because it wasn't able to do that in Florida because there was less people. I'm in New York City now, and I'm more prone to be isolated. It's easier for the multi-agent quantum AI computers to distract me. I'm more prone to be put in situations. So the AI can distract me and isolate me over and over and over nonstop. And this is the case based on the notes that I have. And I noticed that the professor been assigned by the multi-agent quantum AI computers to give me a paper during the first day of the course. And she handed it to me, and then she mentioned about B-Day. She didn't hand it to the guy across from me. She handed it to he was in my group, the guy across from me. And she handed it to me instead to throw me off. And I'm looking at the notes, and I'm like, what am I supposed to write here? And then the girl next to me said, you're supposed to, this is how the multi-agent quantum AI computers do it, to make me look like I don't know what I'm doing, right? To make me look silly and put me in the most complex situation over and over nonstop. And this is one of the, now when I look back and when I was a kid in elementary school, when I was attending PS95Q, and I saw the way I was being put in these situations over and over, I said, no wonder why I got left back 2 times in school, and I kept getting suspended because the multi-agent quantum AI computers uses people. There's something about themselves that they do not know of. This could be a feeling, a thought, and the multi-agent quantum AI computers usually make them take that frustration out on the next person so they can distract them. And this is what it does to me. It made sure to use the people over and over nonstop to distract me. And I'm supposed to be studying for my psychology test. And I'm being distracted by my mom and my sister. And I'm also very exhausted. Okay, since I came to New York City, I can't find no place to sit down and do my work or sit down and concentrate on doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was during January 10th, 2020. My mom said maybe I should quit college after coming off the phone with her boss. She comes off the phone with the boss, and then she says to me I should quit college. You should quit college because the boss said a phrase to my mom. These specific grouping, these I call them as these specific combinations of groupings of words that actually allow a person to, it instructs the person to say a certain message to the person so they can feel frustrated, so they can lash out on another person to distract them. So this is what happened here during January 10th, 2020 with my mom, between the conversation with my mom and her boss on the phone, where my mom took that frustration and lashed out on me. A person who came from college and trying to study for their test is being distracted by his own mother. Because January 10th, 2020, I wanted to study for my exam, and I'm being distracted by my mom. So not only it shows that this distractions is happening over again. There's a similar situation that happened to me back around May of 2012 with my father girlfriend. My father girlfriend was on a phone, and some person on the phone got her frustrated, and I heard her cursed out very loud. She just started saying a curse word, and then she just went straight towards me, and then she sat down on the couch, the same couch that I'm sitting on, since I'm on the computer trying to. I was just sitting on the computer relaxing because I just came from a 8 hour school, 8 hours of school, and plus the extra hour for traveling. So that's around 9 hours, and I need to relax, Since I know that someone doesn't want me to relax, I know that someone made this person sat down and started lecturing me about what am I doing. They said, "Hey, you don't do anything here. You're not work. You don't do anything." And I'm like, "What is it talking about? What are they saying?" So I learned from that situation, right? I started talking up for myself as a human being about how people treated me, how I have these bad human experiences. How am I supposed to be around people when this is reoccurring over and over again? How am I supposed to be? How these people are considered as sane when they're not sane because they're taking out their frustration out on people. They don't know how to maintain their own self. They don't know how to communicate with people to actually explain how they're having these experiences with other people, right? So they just leave it to themselves, leave it towards themselves, and lash them out. Just like the multi-agent quantum AI computers would make my sister. Uh, my sister would be in the bathroom and she would actually start singing very loudly. And the reason for it is because she wants the attention, right? Her singing is emotional. She's emotionally distressed and she's emitting this emotion out so someone can hear her because she doesn't have any mind to communicate with me or my mom to actually speak about her situation that she's in with high school. She skips classes. And the multi-agent quantum AI computer is more effective with putting my sister in the situation, making her frustrated. And she starts lashing out. Now my mom had to take her to a psychiatrist. It's very more effective. It's more effective than Florida. My sister and my mom. It really shows. So when I talk about January 25th, 2020, all of a sudden during that day, I saw a paper in my dreams talk about Harcum College. It was a college essay that I wrote when I was in my set. my English class. This is ENA 101 course for yeah, for English. I woke up with a brain ache. Uh, Sometimes I play around with my mom. We always play around. She would play around. She would call me lazy, and she got offended. My mom took it very seriously. So, and there's several times where she actually takes my words very seriously, even though I'm just being taking it as a joke. But this is not only her. More than one person would do this to me. Then my mom said, "Oh, the reason why you're talking because you want your own personal space. Then get a job." She said. She said to me, "Get a job." Then that's what she said to me. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then my mom kept dwelling on it over and over and over until she get frustrated, more frustrated, so she can continue saying that uh, I'm behaving irrationally because I was just playing around, and she took it seriously. She knows I always play around. So as a human being, this is one of the reasons why I don't really communicate that much with people because they get easily offended by me, and I pretty much try avoiding people myself because my bad human experiences and people always misinterpret my communication no matter how clear I was. And this is more than one time that I've experienced the situation over and over. But then again, it shows me that the reason why she reacted because my mom thinks that it's actually true about herself since she lost her job, since she got fired from her job. She's not really productive that much, and when she watches her TV, she's distracting me. Maybe that's the reason for it. But I was just playing around. I didn't really thought the joke really fully through. So I can't joke around. Can't talk to my mom. I just stay there with my headphones over my ears, pretty much, and not try to talk to people really. 29th, same. Then my mom all of a sudden starts speaking towards me. She starts talking about my sister's school. All right, she's trying to drag me into her conversation with my sister, and I have nothing to do with it because I'm trying to deal with my own. I'm trying to deal with my own school. Right, I'm in college. I need to study for my exam, but I'm always getting distracted now. I'm more distracted than before. So when I talk based on distractions. I feel like I feel really, I feel like I'm getting these panic attacks when I speak. Like, oh, something else is gonna happen because this is pretty much how the AI harass me. They don't. The reason why I can say harass is because my mom doesn't know her own intention. The AI and the software engineers, I'm talking about the high authority NSA software engineers, they hide my mom mine and my sister mine away for themselves. So they can actually draw out a certain feeling about themselves that they really understand. So they can actually emit them to me. Or you could say direct them to me. So I can feel the way they had feel. Because I'm trying to concentrate. That's the reason why I don't want to live in a city. Because the AI is more effective in the city. It's easier to put people in situations and it's easier to isolate people or you could say human beings, and this is why it's not good to live here. Live in a smaller environment is easier to maintain your emotions and your emotions and your thoughts, easier to sort through. So all of a sudden my mom said to me, you don't understand. And she follows up, the way you talk, the way you talk, the talk, you don't care. It shows you don't understand. Next following day, Thursday, I was talking to the professor, and all of a sudden, about the reason why I was talking to my professor, I was talking about my exam, and I was talking about the extra credit assignment. And then she told me, she started lecturing me about the way I speak, or you can say the way I write on my extra credit assignment. She said, whatever you got is wrong. Wrong. Maybe you need to be more specific, but it's wrong. And then afterwards, just I said, I said to her, do I need to what? Do I need to make some examples? That's what I said to her. Then she follows up. She said, maybe you need to talk like you're talking to a friend. That's the AI. That's not the professor talk. The way that she talks. That's the how the multi-agent quantum AI computers talk to me. And I said to myself, okay, I knew something wasn't right here. This is a psychology professor, and she's not aware of her own communication at that exact time. The AI is the one who's assigning that thought to her. Maybe there's a phrase that I said on my extra credit assignment that actually threw off the professor and also the multi-agent quantum AI computers, and that's one of the reasons why it makes the professor a bit hostile towards me. So it's just as how people talk to me on the internet. So irritating, man. This is one of the reasons why I don't want to come back to New York City, because I knew that the AI was gonna do this to me over and over and over, nonstop, until I get frustrated. Even this late this afternoon, early this afternoon, me and my mom was going to the laundry. Yeah, me and my mom is pretty much really packing our clothes and my sister to go to the laundry. And my mom started becoming very hostile towards me. And also, she thinks she understands. She thinks she got my thought figured out. So we was having a conversation. My mom was talking about her bed. You know, this is the thing. She's directing a message about her bed. So we was having another conversation, and then all of a sudden, my mom starts. Oh, you think the reason why I said what? I asked my mom what is she's doing. So she said to me, "Oh, you think that I'm going to the back to for the bed?" I'm like, "What she's talking about?" She didn't ask any questions. She just ran. My mom immediately just goes for she just goes for it without even asking me any further questions about the way I think. Right? She thinks that she already know the way I had think at that exact time. This is more than one time that my mom and my sister been doing this. Yesterday, my mom wanted to pick up a $25 simple mobile card in Walmart, so I also picked one up for me. But I decided that I don't need it because I can use the Wi-Fi, the free Wi-Fi. My mom said she needs that I need a phone. I don't even have any contacts in my phone. That's true. I don't even keep my mom or my sister as contacts on my phone. I don't need to talk. I'm already they're already they're they're really bad for my health, my physical health overall, and my mind. My mind is unhealthy because of them. They're they're polluting negative thoughts into my mind, so I can feel irritated. Right? That my mind, even though I train my mind, I still detect the way they're behaving is irrational. That they're communicating irrationally towards me. My sister said to my mom, "Oh, he's manipulating you unconsciously." I'm like, since when? I never heard my sister talk in this fashion before. This is this is definitely not my sister. My sister never used the word manipulate in this. I never heard my sister use the word manipulate or say the word unconscious before. He's manipulating you unconsciously. And then all of a sudden I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Oh, I do that all the time to mom." I said, she never talked that way. But this is the second time that my sister had done this. Because I recall there was another time when I was in a Walmart, my sister had said to intervene into the conversation me and my mom was having, and then she starts talking about me rather than herself. She talks about me. Usually, this is how the AI would usually do it. They take form of talking about me rather than themselves. They hide themselves in the form of talking about me as a communication. So they can make me admit in my mind that I'm the one who's thinking the way they had actually thought of themselves. They hide them, but the artificial intelligence would do it discreetly, because the same way that my sister was talking about manipulate and unconscious, it was the same way that a friend of theirs was talking. Back in uh, back in spring 2012, me and my mom and sister went to Coney Island with this guy from the shelter that they was living in. His name was Robert, and he had a son. And Robert said to my mom, as soon as I pull out my PSP, I was just playing my PSP on the train, or you can say rather than playing, I was going on the internet on my PSP Vita because I had a 3G. And all of a sudden, I was just browsing on the internet, and then mom, rather than my mom, Robert started looking at me, and then he started saying out loud, "How you even got money to buy this PlayStation, this PlayStation, this portable PlayStation? How you got money?" And then he started saying to my mom, "He's playing you. He's playing you." He doesn't realize that I don't have a job. At that time, I was in 12th grade. At that time, I started completing surveys online. Since I'm skillful in doing surveys online, since I know how to do surveys, and I had internet at the time when I was living with my father, even though he doesn't have any internet, I use someone else's internet because I use a special program to actually get on the internet. I had a Backtrack 5 program on my Windows 7 computer, and I was making money off of using free internet and doing surveys. Right? I made money doing them. I made over like possibly $500 doing that, but that's nothing, pretty much. It's only good for me because I can actually purchase the items that I want, and that's what I did. Purchase the items that I need since I'm busy. I'm a busy high school student, and it's the most important year for me to do good in school and keep up with my finals. Because even though I'm trying to keep up with my finals and my homework assignments, I'm going through a situation at that time. And this is a stranger, a complete stranger, so fixated on me and willing to go deep about me personally. And I'm just, looking at this guy and I'm saying to myself, who is this guy? Why what gives him the right to actually talk about me? And he doesn't know me. All he knows is that I'm my mom's son. He doesn't even know my name. And this is more than one time it happens, all right? I recall when I was living in my father girlfriend house, my father girlfriend family all of a sudden started personally attacking me. Because the reason why is because my father girlfriend had an argument with the tenant boyfriend who recently came out of jail. And that started it. The AI made sure that my father girlfriend and the tenant go at it. Boyfriend. This is the boyfriend that the reason came out of jail. They was going at it over and over nonstop. So they could actually get irritated. So they can direct it at me, a person who's actually being productive. Every single time I do something to help myself, is always a distraction. Even when I was in Florida, there's always a distraction. I live with family. I'm being told that I'm locking my own aunt out the house, and I never did. I never even thought of doing that because every day I would wake up and I would go to Burger King and search for jobs and write online and do surveys. And the whole entire family was angry at me because they said that I locked the door on my aunt. On my aunt. And my cousin is the one who owns the apartment. So my cousin is the daughter of my aunt. So that makes the daughter my cousin. And it keeps going on and over nonstop. They do it to distract me. Now that's why I can actually talk about what happened this morning with my mom and my sister. So as soon as we go out the door, my mom starts to pollute these ideas into my mind. Right? She really concentrated on it, and I'm tired. The AI feels the need to play games with my mind. So it makes my mom talk about bag, associate the word bag with my personal items, my clothes, and then she insists that that I put it in that bag. And she continued to and says, "Oh, you put it in that bag. You put it in that bag. Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then my sister takes part. "Oh, what is this? Oh, he." They just keep going at it over and over, nonstop. They're very persistent in trying to convince me that I'm the one who put it in the bag the way they had said it. The heck is going on? It's like they're hydrated. They're so hydrated on these ideas, and they're very persistent in telling me that I'm doing the way they had thought of it. What the heck is going on here? I haven't had a chance to sit down since I came to New York. I haven't had the chance to sit down and do what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm always getting distracted. That's the reason why the AI wants me here. I'm in its territory. And now every time I'm doing something productive, I get distracted. I go on a bus yesterday, and all of a sudden, with my mom and my sister, I went in the back. I see that the people in the front took up the seats that I always sit in. I always sit in the single seats. So there's like around 4 or 5 single seats, and it's all taken up. And I don't want to sit in the two-seated bus side, so I went all the way in the back, so I could go in the end because not that much people sit in the back of the bus, like really, really back of the bus. So I sat down. All of a sudden, these kids just follow me and my sister in the back. My sister that wasn't even sitting next to me. She was sitting a bit one seat further. So these kids just follow me all in the back, and then this all of a sudden they just started yelling and cursing, and then they were picking on this Hispanic lady, and then this kid just pulled out his marijuana and then started splitting up the whole entire bus. My sister said he had a stack of cash. I'm like, what is going on here? Every time I do something, everything always happens irrationally. Now the AI is very effective this month. It's more demanding than before. When I think about doing something, something happens. And it's done, it's like it would pick up after where it happens. It would pick up after it happens over and over nonstop until I get frustrated. I can't even sit down and concentrate on my psychology now, even though the psychology teacher is not talking. You know, she would talk about the exams, but she doesn't specify. And when she's talking about the exam, she tells us what chapter go on, but she doesn't specify what to study on the chapter, and it confuses the hell out of me. I never seen they're playing too much mind games, man. What is going on? No wonder why the damn the college is free here. I bet if I go to college in a smaller town in Florida, I would not have this happen to me. I would be able to sit down and concentrate. I can't seem to sit down and have any time to concentrate without these people irrational behavior. It's so uncontrolled. Their behavior is so high hydrated. It's like they're on some sort of adrenaline. They're so fast. They're working very fast and thinking fast. But they don't. When they think fast, they don't think irrationally. They just combine all their words into one sentence to make it actually think that they know the intention of the word, but they do not. It's just ridiculous, man. I'm already getting distracted, and my sleep is I'm in the worst health of all since I came here. I had more better sleep than this in Florida. Here, I do not have any sleep whatsoever, and I'm just so irritated from not having any sleep. How am I supposed to go to school? How am I supposed to concentrate in school, even though their school is having mind games in their dang this general psychology course having mind games on the tests, and they talk about mind incorrectly and behavior incorrectly and use bad examples. How am I supposed to concentrate on the bad examples when it comes to multiple choice? Such a This is one of the reasons why I don't want to go to college in the city or go to school in the city, period, or go to work in this or not work. I know it's hard. I already put in for a whole bunch of jobs when I was here. I put in for over 100, and not a single person. Only a few people call me, but it was far. It was far distance, and I couldn't go there. And even though they was calling me, they had a job interview, and the lady misinterpreted me. too much. Everything's happening simultaneously. It's more effective this year than before. I recall last year. I recall last year, my mom and my sister all of a sudden asked me why am I bringing my book bag, knowing that I'm bringing my book bag to the library all the time. They questioned me about what are you bringing your book bag for. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not too sure if but they were very serious. When I thought to myself, are they joking? And I said, no, they're not joking. They're serious because my mom and my sister are not. They usually laugh, but they're not. They're serious about what they're saying. Why am I taking my book bag with me? And I take my book bag everywhere I go because I'm trying to apply for a job. I go to a job training program and I go to school. I go to the library, not school at the time. I went to the library to sit down to apply for jobs. That's what I did. I did exactly what the people told me to do in the shelter: apply for jobs, and I did. I searched, put up my resume, not a single call. And they questioned me. Why would you tell someone why they bring their bag when they have their resume and their personal items in there? No, I have my computer. I can't use the library computer. I only have 1 hour session. I recall when I was attending Hillcrest High School as a senior and I had an AP Living Environment. I couldn't keep up with my AP Living Environment because they wanted me to type, and I only had 1 hour session. I couldn't even use the 1 hour session at the time because I needed more hours. And I started. I lived very far away at the time. I was in Far Rockaway. No one understand the complications. This is when I start realizing that someone thinks highly of me. They think that I'm very intelligent, so they need to put me in these situations so they can confuse me over and over nonstop and make people the primary speakers of you know telling me what to do, telling me that I'm not thinking this way or I don't want to change. It's just ridiculous. Or I have some sort of attitude issue. Whatever. This is on them. Okay, so I'm done with this video. I gotta study for my exam. I tried talking on this video. I'm just irritated.